to users. Okay, nice. What else? Fine. So let's talk about the permissions. So what is meant by permissions? Permissions means like it's a normal thing that we saw in our real time life, right? What you can do, right? That is like a permissions only. So what we have done in the last lecture, like we have created a server and we have installed the Ubuntu operating system for that, right? What we have done, we have installed the Ubuntu, and in this Ubuntu operating system we have created the users, right? These are the users that we have created under the Ubuntu operating system. So we have Ubuntu operating system, and under that Ubuntu operating system we have created these users. So when we have done the Ubuntu installation, that time one user got created automatically, that is a root user. And we also created one more user, we called it as a Learnomate user we have created, right? And by using this user only, we are doing the login to your servers, and we were doing all the operations by using Learnomate. So root user is basically your very powerful person, we call it as a super user. Very powerful person, we call it as a super user. Why it is a super user? Because he is having all the privileges, he can do everything. He can do everything. He can create a file, he can read a file, he can update a file, he can execute the file also, he can do everything. And he can go into any location, he can go inside the any location. Like if you take the example of Learnomate user, we have created Learnomate user, right? So when you create a Learnomate user, a home directory got created for this Learnomate. What is the home directory? /home/Learnomate. So if I want to create any folder under Learnomate directory, this Learnomate user, he can do that. Like he can create a folder with the name test.dir. He can create a folder with the name test.dir. But if you are asking Learnomate to create a folder under /home/Oracle/here test.dir, then it is not possible, because Oracle /home/Oracle, it's a home directory of Oracle user. So I'm assuming that there is a Oracle user. So Learnomate have the access under his home directory. What is his home directory? Learnomate user is having the access under /home/Learnomate. Whenever you create a user, a home directory will be created, and under that home directory, that user is having the privileges, like he can do everything. But if you are asking me that can Learnomate user create a folder under Oracle home directory, then it is not possible. Then who can do that? It is only done by the user, we called it as a root user. Root user, he can do everything. He can create root user, he can do everything. He can create a file. Okay, what root user can do? Root user can create, root user can go, root user can edit, root user can do update everywhere. Whatever files which are available inside your server, everything will be owned by root user. So root user can do everything. But a normal user cannot go inside the another user. Let's take an example of desktop only. So if I'm logging here with the help of Learnomate, currently user is Learnomate. So when I'm logging here with the help of Learnomate user and I'm pressing enter, you can see the desktop. So this desktop is of Learnomate user. If I create any user, let's say I have created U1 user, U2 user, if they want to copy any files over here, or if they want to create any file in this desktop location, they cannot do that. This is a desktop of Learnomate and only Learnomate can do that. And another person who is having the authority to create a folder over here like this, create a file over here like this, that is the root user. But if that user, if the user like U1 user, he want to create a folder here, or he want to update this file, let's say he want to edit this file pq.txt, then we need to provide him required privileges. So in the Linux operating system, there are three type of privileges are there. We called it as a read, write, and another privileges we called it as execute privileges. Read, write, and execute. Read means, let's say there is one file is available, and in that file there is some contents are available. We have a file, and under that file there are some contents are available, and I want to open this file. I want to see what is available inside this file. This operation we called it as a read operations. So we have a file is available, I am just opening that. That is called read. Just like you are getting the Amazon parcel in your home, and you are just opening it, that's a read operations. You are doing the read operation with your open eyes. Write means you are making some changes. So in this file you are writing some data. Let's say you are inserting some lines, you are deleting some lines, you are updating some lines. That is called write operations. And execute is basically related to the scripting. Scripting means, let's say you have a set of Linux commands are there, like pwd, ls, and other commands are there. You place all that command into one file, and when you are executing that file, all the commands, Linux command, will be executed. So we have a file, and under that file Linux commands are there. Under that file Linux commands are there, and you are just executing that. So it's not a read or write, it's a execute permissions. Basically it is mainly useful for scripting purpose. So there are three type of permissions are available inside the Linux operating system. We have read, write, and the final one will be your execute permissions. Now what I want to do, like to whom you are going to provide this permission, the read permission, the write permissions, execute permission. You are going to provide this permission to the user. You are going to provide these permissions to the group. You are going to provide these permissions to the other people. User, group, and other. Now what is meant by user? User means the person who is owning that file. Let's take an example. I got logged in by using Learnomate user. And I have created a file called abc.txt. Who created this file? Learnomate. And which file I have created? abc.txt. So if someone is asking me that who is the owner of this file, then I would say that Learnomate is the owner of this file. So the owner of this file, he can do read, he can do write, he can do execute, he can do everything, because he is the owner. He only created that file. So you can give read operations to the user, any user. Group, we already discussed. Group is basically, so let's say I have created a DBA group. So under this DBA group, you have multiple users are there. So this read write operations, you can give read write execute permissions, you can give to the group level. So as soon as you are giving to the group level, automatically it will be replicate to your users also. So if I'm giving read write execute permissions, then read write execute permissions will be applicable to the users which are the part of that group. And that's the group concept, right? We discussed in the last lecture. Other means a person who is not the owner also, who is not the part of group also, that people we called it as other people. So to this user, you are going to provide read, write, execute. Execute will be given it as X. Read, write, execute. You can give read, write, execute to these people, 3 people. So you can give the read, write, execute permissions to the user, to the group, to the other people. And now, how are you going to provide the permissions? So if you want to give the permissions, there is a simple command is there, chmod and the permissions. Let's say I want to give the permissions like read, write, execute, read, write, execute, read, write, execute to the file name abc.txt. So I have a file called abc.txt. In this file, there is some contents is there. So I'm giving a read, write, execute. This read, write, execute is given to the user level. The first one is user. Second read, write, execute, I'm giving it to the group. Third read, write, execute, I'm giving it to the other people. abc.txt. So on this file, I'm giving user full permission. Read, write, execute, it's a full permissions. To the group, I'm giving full permissions. To the other people, I'm giving full permissions. The same syntax you can also give in the form of number. Normally this read, write, execute can be given like 4, 2, 1. The total will be 7. The total will be 7. So if I want to give this permission, because 4 plus 2 plus 1 equals to 7. So if I want to give the same permissions, I'll say chmod. If I want to give full permissions, read, write, execute. So it is like read, write, execute. Total is 7. So first 7, I'm giving it to the user. Second 7, I'm giving it to the group. Third 7, I'm giving it to the other on the file abc.txt. So this first 7 is related to the user. Second one is related to the group. Third one is related to the other people which are not the part of group also, and it is not the owner also. If I don't want to give full permissions, let's say I want to give some less permission, so I'll say chmod 755 abc.txt. So what is this 7 first? So 7 means I'm giving this permission to the user. Second one is giving it to the group. Third one is giving it to the other. Now if someone is asking me that what permissions I'm giving it to the user, 7 means 4 plus 2 plus 1, total is 7. 7 is a full permissions. So to the user, I'm giving full permissions. To the group, I'm giving 5. 5 is basically your read plus execute. So basically it is read, execute. So if I want to note down this 7, I'll note down in the such way like chmod. 7 is like read, write, execute. 5 is basically your read, and then write I'm not giving, so it is like blank, and execute is X. What about the other level? Other is also like read blank, because write is blank. Write I'm not giving, so I'll say underscore and execute on the file abc.txt. So when you want to give the permissions, whenever you want to give the permissions, you can do it with the help of, you can give it with the help of chmod. You can give it in the form of number also. You can give it in the form of like this way also. But normally people will try to go with number format because it's quite simple. So when I'm logged in here, and let me enter with the help of Oracle user, I'm opening the terminal and I want to check ls-lrt. I will list it. When you list, you will see the permissions of the files and directories. Let's take an example of abc.txt. So if you see here, the first dash here, you can see it is a D. D means it's a directory. So www is a directory, but here you can see it is a blank. Here you can see it is a blank. It means it's a file. Here it's a file. Then if you see, the first three is basically your read, write, and blank is there. So for the user, I'm giving a permission like read, write, not execute. For the group, I'm giving only read, write, and execute is not there. For the other people, only read permissions is there. But if you take the example of pqr.txt here, if you take the example of pqr.txt, user is having read, write, group is having read, write, execute, and others is having only read. But if you take the example of this one, pqr.txt, sorry, this test directory, you can see here that full permissions are there to the user: read, write, execute. Others, sorry, group, read, write, execute. But for the others, write permission is not there. So whenever you want to give full permission, let's say I want to give full permissions to the abc.txt, I'll simply use the command like chmod 777 abc.txt. When I'm running this command, I'm getting the error message that operations not permitted, operations not permission. Why? Because this abc.txt is owned by which user? Root user. So only root user, he can change the permissions. And what is the second one? This is basically your group. So if someone is asking me that who is the owner of pqr.txt, I will say that the owner is Learnomate and the group is Learnomate. Who is the owner of RRR? Learnomate and group is Learnomate. Who is the owner of test? Learnomate is the group, sorry, user, and Learnomate is the like this. So let's say I want to give full permissions to the pqr.txt, which is owned by Learnomate user. So I'll say chmod 777 pqr.txt and press enter. Earlier the permission was read, write, read, write, read. But when I'm checking here now, for the pqr.txt, the permission is full now. Read, write, execute, read, write, execute, read, write, execute. And even you can see that the color got changed of the file because it has a full permissions. So basically, whenever you want to talk about the permissions in Linux operating system, there are three type of permissions are there: read, write, execute. These three permissions you are giving it to the user, group, or other people. Whenever you want to give the permissions, there is a command called chmod. You can give the permissions in the form of character like this: rwx, rwx, rwx. So first one is related to the user, group, and other. Similar permissions you can give with the help of number also: chmod 777 abc.txt. So the first 7 is related to the user, group, second one is for group, and third one is for other. If you want to give less permissions, normally we don't give full permissions because there is a chances that you may encounter security related concerns. So we try to give 755. So it is like 7 is read, write, execute, 5 is read and execute, 5 is again read and execute, write is blank, it's a dash is mentioned over there. So whenever you run the command like ls-lrt, you'll get to know the permissions which are available on the directory level or on the file level. If you want to give full permissions, you can use chmod 777 command, but again the full permission can be given by the owner of that file or the person who is a super user, and in our case it's a root user. Understood, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Hello. Sir, I have one question. The permission applied for the user, have it applied for all the user or particular?
Only to that user, the
No,
owner.
for particular user, the permissions are applied or for the all the user?
Not all the users. When I'm giving a read, write, execute permission here to the user level, so it is a permission for Learnomate user. Who is the owner of that file?
I mean other users like
Others will not have access. Others will, others, if other, let's say we have created a U1 user yesterday. If that
okay,
user is the part of Learnomate group, correct? Then
yes,
which permission he will get?
read write execute.
It's a group, right? Second column, it's a group. So if U1 and U2 is the part of Learnomate group, then he will get these permissions: read, write, execute. Okay,
Okay,
group level permissions. If he is not the part of group, or he is not the owner, let's say U1 user is not the owner also, he is not the part of group also, then which permission he will get?
other
Others. Understood, everyone? Okay,
Yes, sir.
fine. Okay, let's try to understand one example. So what I will do,
Sir,
I'll create one file here. Oh, let's take an example. Create a file like vi. File name. What is the file name?
permission,
Tell me any file name.
permission or PER.
pr.txt. Okay. Insert. I am inserting some data. This is permission class. Save it. When I'm going here, I have a file called pr.txt. So which permission I am having right now? This Learnomate user read write, correct?
Yes, sir.
And here also on group level I can see read write permission is there, because the permission is coming from owner level also, as well as from group level also. If I try to open this file, I can insert a data. It means which permissions I'm having?
Right,
I'm having write permissions.
right permission.
Okay, I'll save this. What I will do, I will remove the write permissions from this file. So what I will do, I'll say the command like chmod, and I'll give only read permissions. What is the number for read permissions?
4.
4. So I'll say
4.
4 on user level, 4 on group level, 4 on other level also. pr.txt. Done. Now if I go here, I can see here only read permission is available on user level, group level and other level. Correct? Now
Yes.
if I try to insert some data, can I insert some data?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Can I open the file first? Can I open the file?
yes,
Yes,
Yes.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
If I go here and if I press enter, I can open a file. But can you see in the bottom there is one thing is mentioned in the bottom. What is that?
Read only.
No.
Read only.
Read only.
So if I press I for the insert, I'm getting the error message that changing a read only file. It means you cannot change it. You got my point?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So if I try
Yes,
to insert a data also now, but if I try to save this file, okay, press enter, I'll get the error message that read only. You got my point,
Yes.
everyone?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
Fine, let's do that. Okay, try it on your end and let me know if you're able to do that. Okay.
Sir, can you open the note, that note window?
Okay, is it done, everyone?
Yes, uncle.
Any challenges, guys? So see here, like now if you see here that the user is not able to do write. Let's take example. I want to give him write permissions to the user only. I don't want to give it to the group level. So how you can do that? Chmod u plus write on the file pr.txt. If I run this command, you can see here that the write permission is available to the user. Now if I try to open that file, earlier write was not there, and that is the reason he was not able to write anything. So whenever you want to give write permissions to the user, specific to user, so you'll say u plus. When you want to give it to the user level, you will say u plus and then enter. Now I can insert. See here, now I can insert and I can save it. Correct. Similar way, if you want to give it to the group level, so you'll say g plus, and if I do ls-lrt, I can see the group is also having. So this is like how you can provide the new permissions. Let's say how you want to add a permissions. If you want to remove the permissions, so every time we use g plus, u plus, you need to mention g minus. It means remove permissions. If you go here now, from the group, write permission is removed. See, earlier write was there, now write is not there. If I want to remove the write permissions from user, I'll say u minus and the permission is gone. Now if I try to write it again, I will get the error message, a read only file. So this is the way you can give a permission to the user. This is the way you can remove the permissions from the user. G plus, u plus, g minus, just remove plus, minus, it's a kill of this Linux operating system. Clear, everyone?
And O for other also, sir.
Yes. Okay, let's do that.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, so group and user, I was able to give the permission, but I was trying to do it together, then that will not happen, right?
You can directly go like this, then 777 the way
With
I have given.
okay, with the numbers only. Like with the plus wala thing, we can't do it in one command, like for group and user together.
Yes.
Okay.
You can set the default permissions, that is called umask. That is possible. Whenever you think that the default permission, whenever you create a file and for that file you need default some permissions, you can do that.
Like with the command only, not by numbers.
Oh, okay. Is it done, everyone? Read, write, execute is done. Okay. Okay. Sometimes you are in a situations. Let's take an example. I have created a folder. Do we have any folder here? One is there. So I'll go to the one. What is that under? Okay. So we have a folder called ls-lrt. So what is the permission of one? The permission is full permission, right? And who is the owner? Learnomate. So Learnomate user can change the permission. Let's say I want to give him chmod 6551. When I run this command, what will happen? The one folder permission got changed to 655. You can see 6, 5 and 5, right? 655. Okay, correct. Now what I want to do, if I go inside this folder cd1 and if I do, what is 6 is like, I cannot go inside that folder because I'll tell you the reason behind that. Who is the owner? cd1. One is permission denied. I don't have permissions to go inside that folder itself. Now it's a problem. What I will do, I'll give chmod 7551 ls-lrt. So I'll say cd1. I can go now. Okay, so I have given the permission like 755, right? And 755 permission will looks like this. But what I mean to say that if you check the permissions of 2, is it 755? What is this in the number? It's 7, 7
5.
and 5, correct? So is it, it's not 755, right? What I mean to say, I have a folder called 1 is there, and under that 1 you have 2, and under that 3 is there. So if I change the permission of this folder, the permission of these folders will not get changed. You got my point? Here I have given 755, but still here it is something different. Let's say it can be 777. It can be different, even though if I'm changing it on parent level. But there are certain situations will be there where you need to change the permission of main folder as well as the inside folder, everything. You got my point? So if I'm changing the permission of 755 to 1, it should be 755 here and it should be 755 here, everywhere. You need something like this. Understood? Understood or not?
Yes.
Is it clear or not?
Yes, sir.
No, I'm confused.
Confused, na? Let's do one thing. Let's take it in the next class, okay? I need a separate class for this. I don't want to make it complicated today. Okay, let's, but except this, whatever we discuss, read, write, execute, permission, is it clear?
Yes, sir. Is it
Yes,
clear?
sir, it is
That is
clear.
clear, na? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir,
Fine.
everything is good, sir.
So just do one thing, go through this recording one more time. Tomorrow I will tell you the next part of the permissions. The permission only we will continue, but little in depth. Okay, we'll do that
Okay.
tomorrow.
Thanks.
Okay, sir.